I think that that's an important part when people are looking to hire is like, try to hire people who you can't really tell, right? I mean, we've made lots.
Oh my God, we've made so many hire mistakes, but I want to talk about this because we talked about this actually just before, which is so freaking great. And like one of the things that I pay the closest attention to, and I know you do too. So we get tons of applications, and over the years now, God, I must have hundreds, if not thousands of applications for people to work with. And one of the biggest things I look for is like, did you answer all of the questions in the application? And you would be friggin' shocked at how many people f up the first part. They leave like, and there's not many. It's not like there's 1,000 questions. It's like 6 or something like that. And they're pretty detailed. Or they call me Maria. And I'm like, are you f***ing kidding me? It's like people that even pay me a lot of money. I'm like, how are you still calling me? All right, you're still sending me big checks, but seriously, get the f***ing details right. And that's probably one of the biggest things. If your first impression is you're not getting the details right and you want me to pay you and trust you with my brand, it's a non-starter.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And I mean, I make mistakes all the time. Just to be clear, I f shit up. I will send stuff to my friends. I will send stuff to colleagues. Autocorrect gets my ass every time. And I wind up sending like the face smacking thing and saying, I'm sorry. I remember it was just the other day. Actually, we were out someplace and I called a woman, Maria, who was married. I'm like, holy shit, that happens to me all the time. I am so sorry. But it's like sometimes the applicants are like nobody even owns it. Like, oh my God, I just sent this. I'm so sorry. It was autocorrect, or I didn't realize I didn't catch it. It was just like, they don't care about the details.
Yeah. I think another thing we were talking about this week is there's one thing in particular that is the number one thing we look for when we're hiring. And it's the number one thing we tell people when they're onboarding us. It's this one trait that's so important to us. I think you should talk about it.
It's the most important trait ever if you want to hire A players, and people need to show up like this. And that number one trait is resourcefulness. I wrote the book, Everything is Figure Outable. It's like in business, 99% of what you and your team will need to do to grow the business is going to be things that you've never done before, right? Because all the shit you've already done has gotten you to where you are. And now if you want to get to where you want to go, you got to innovate, you've got to take risks, you got to figure new things out, you're going to have to experiment, you're going to have to go outside of your comfort zone into your discomfort zone in order to reach those new vistas. And in order to do that, the people on your team might not have that expertise or experience yet, or you as an entrepreneur, you don't have the experience yet. So you need people around you who are resourceful, who are not going to be like, I don't know. It's like, dude, Google it or get up and figure it out or make some phone calls or whatever. And I swear, I mean, I see this just out on the internet in general. It's like people asking questions of like shit that you can just easily Google. And if folks don't have that resourcefulness, at least on our team and our culture, it's like you're not going to make it here, because I, as a CEO, am constantly coming up with new ideas. We're constantly coming up with new things that we want to try. Like, is this possible? Can we do this? And if you don't have that everything is figure outable DNA in your, if that's not like a natural go-to, like, oh, we don't know how to do this, but we're going to figure it out. Like, we're going to go find out, we're going to experiment. It's just, the train's going to leave the station, or I'm going to get so frustrated. It's just, I just can't be around those people. Bless them. I want them to be happy and at peace and have a wonderful life, but I don't want to work with them.
Right. I get it.
Yeah. And especially too, it's like I think on our team specifically, like I only desire at this point in the game and at this point in my life, I only want to be around A players. Like, I only want to be around people that live into what's possible. And that doesn't mean burning yourself out. And that doesn't mean pushing yourself in a way that's unhealthy or anything like that. But I want to be around people who are like, if we come up with something great and we're like, oh my God, that seems amazing. And we're all like, how the hell do we do that? We're like, let's do it. Like, we're going to go find out. If someone's like, I don't know. And it's just like the cock block parade. I'm sorry. I know that's terrible, but it is. It's just like, it's a bunch of Debbie Downers like, I don't think so. It's just constantly pumping the brakes. I can't live like that.